Hey guys, welcome to the Workman Sports Talk, where we like to talk about sports. And if you're not a man, who cares? Today we're going to be talking about the NFL and the draft, and which teams that we liked, their picks, and which teams we really don't care for, or which interesting situations that are going to be happening in the NFL. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to start off here with the Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to Derek Harmon and his family. I know he lost his mother after he got drafted. Prayers go out to him and his family. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers did a pretty good job. They helped out their defensive line. They was getting Derek Harmon in the first round. They got Jack Sawyer as an edge in the fourth round. And they went back in the sixth round and got my boy, Will Howard. I know people was wondering, why didn't the Steelers draft Shedeur Sanders? Why didn't they take Jackson Dart before the Giants took him? But, from what I heard before the draft is that the Steelers were really high on Will Howard. They weren't going to draft him high or anything like that, but that was their guy. They went to his pro day. They brought him in for a workout. Like, that was their top quarterback throughout this draft. That being said, they got him. Do I think he's going to be their day one starter? We will have to wait and see. But I know right now they have Mason Rudolph. I know everyone keeps saying that, they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to be their guy. I don't think they're going to go Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to be either Mason Rudolph or Will Howard going into week one. That's just my opinion on it. I really think Aaron Rodgers is going to be more like a mid-season pickup for someone that needs a quarterback at that time. But otherwise, I think Will Howard's going to be that guy over there with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, I think that's just going to be it. I think Will Howard's going to be that top quarterback. I think their defense is going to be a monster like how it always is. It's just gotten better. They're adding Derek Harmon and Jack Sawyer. And Caleb Johnson as their running back coming out of Iowa. I think we're going to see him get a lot of time back there with Warren too. My next team I want to talk about is I liked what they did within the first round and the last round. I thought those are both steals that they got. And that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Getting Emeka Egbuka in the first round, I had him on my board as my number one wide receiver in this draft. And I thought with them getting him, that was pretty big because you never know when Chris Godwin's going to get hurt or go down. I feel like he's very injury prone. Mike Evans is getting older. Therefore, you still got to add weapons to have those weapons there, ready to come off the bench or, anything like that. I think Emeka Egbuka is going to be their third wide receiver on the roster going into the season. And he could potentially, by the end of the season, be their number two. And then they also got Tez Johnson in the seventh round, which I thought that was a steal. Tez Johnson is a really speedy guy. I think you're going to see him do more of the special teams of kick return, punt return, and you're going to probably see him when they go like 5 spread on offense. See him out there with those guys. I think that's exactly what they're going to do with him. And I really just feel like they just got to steal though with Emeka Egbuka at the 19th overall pick. Like I said, he was my top guy. And he was my top wide receiver. Another team I want to talk about is the Chicago Bears. All right. What's going on there in Chicago? Because they had a chance to get the best tight end coming out with Tyler Warren, coming out of this draft, Tyler Warren. And we got Colston Loveland, who's the second best tight end, which everyone thought, Tyler Warren would go before him. And, like I said, I had Tyler Warren in my mock draft going to the Colts, which he did go to the Colts, but I think Colston Loveland will go at 10. I did not see that coming at all. As one of those type of things like, all right, what are these guys doing? What are the Chicago Bears doing here? If you wanted a tight end, you had Tyler Warren right there, who's, I think is, now I just think he was the best tight end in this draft. With that being said, with their second pick, they got Luther Burden the third. That shocked me because, okay, they have wide receivers. They got Romeo Odunze last year. I know Luther Burden the third is going to be most likely the third option. But it's come on. What is you're going to see Moore's production go down this year? Because I think they're going to try to spread the ball out more and bring in Colston and Luther Burden the third. I think you're going to see a lot of I think you're going to see Romeo Odunze take a little step back too, because they're going to have so many options on offense that they're not going to know what to do. And they don't want Caleb Williams to just spread that ball out. So fantasy wise, I think I'm staying away from anyone from Chicago because you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of their wide receivers just production just drop. But overall, no. Chicago, what are you doing? That's all I want to know. What's going on there? Then we're going to my favorite team, the New York Giants. I thought they had a great draft. There's a couple of things I would have changed up. I thought Abdul Carter coming off as 3. That was a pretty awesome pick. I know everyone in New York is pretty hyped about that. And then the second one, this is when they hot back up in the first. I thought they were going to go Shedeur. I thought Shedeur Sanders was definitely going to go at that 25. But they went with Jackson Dart. I know that's more of Daboll's quarterback style and stuff like that. But I thought overall the best quarterback that was available, Shedeur Sanders. Which, speaking, we all see him drop to the 5th. But we all know that I feel like going into this draft, he was the number 2 quarterback going into it. Something had to happen there to have him drop, but, he did, and he got picked up by the Cleveland Browns. But overall, going back to the Giants, I like what they did. They went back and got Cam Scatterboo in the 4th. And I feel like he's going to be that power back, I feel like. He's not going to be like your speed guy, but I think when it comes to those 3rd and 1s, those short yardage, you're going to see him in there. Just pounding it in between him and Singletary over there. There'd be definitely switch over. Tyrone Tracy's going to be your exclusive main back. Then I'm going to jump to my other favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. The Donovan Jackson pick, that I loved. I loved that one. I would, offensive guard from Ohio State. They needed that. They've been revamping their offensive line going into the offseason with free agency and stuff like that. And they just, I think, solidified their offensive line by getting Donovan Jackson to protect J.J. McCarthy. They know, hey, we have to keep this guy upright. We didn't really have anyone else back there, which they did make a trade for Sam Howell, who's going to be their backup quarterback. But otherwise than that, I thought they had a pretty good draft. They didn't hit everything that they needed, which I thought they went more corner and, safety, but they didn't hit those up at all. So I'm going to see what they're going to do there a little bit more in this offseason, If they're going to make a trade for a cornerback or try to pick up a cornerback out of free agency that's still sitting there, like some type of veteran or something like that. We just got to see what they're going to do. Now, here's a team I really want to talk about. The Cleveland Browns. Cleveland. I thought the trade that they did with Jacksonville, they won that. I know that Jacksonville got Travis Hunter, great player. He's going to have a great career. He's an all-star type of player. But they went and traded back and got Mason Graham, who's another all-star player, which they know that they need help within that interior defensive line to help out Myles Garrett out there. Myles Garrett, The only reason why I say he threw money at him, but otherwise that man wanted to go. He wanted to go, so now they're like, okay, we have to get younger players in here. We just paid the man. We can't pay anyone else, really. We just paid him, and we need to get younger players in here that can start right away for us. And so they went and did that and got Mason Graham, which I thought, great pick. I thought another great pick was Judkins from Ohio State running back. Another great pick. Ooh, excuse me. Another great pick in the second round for them. But they needed a running back. And everyone's still wondering, who are you going to take at quarterback? What's going to be your quarterback pick? Shedeur is still out there. Right, Shedeur not gone. Then they went and got Dillon Gabriel. That shocked me. Not going to lie. I saw that and I was like, they picked Dillon Gabriel? Like, there's a couple of these quarterbacks that went and I was just like, really? Over Shedeur? What's going on here? But it is what it is, And then in that fifth round, they went and got Shedeur Sanders. Now, Cleveland. What's going on? You have five quarterbacks on your roster. You have Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. Two of them got to go. And so it would not surprise me if they move Dillon Gabriel down to the practice squad. Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's going to play this year at all. Probably put on injury reserve. And then I think Kenny Pickett's the odd man out, and they're going to start with Joe Flacco, and Shedeur is going to be their backup. Now everyone's like, well, Shedeur was picked in the fifth round. Dillon Gabriel was picked in the third round. Yeah, I think the NFL used Shedeur, though, as a, how can I say, to show that the stuff that you do in college does not matter here in the NFL. All your highlights, all the money, all the fame, all that stuff. Once you leave college, the NIL stuff and all that comes to the NFL, it's a whole different ball game. And so I think they just used him as an example to let all these other players that are coming into the league next year, the year after that, the year after that, hey, you're not going to come in here and think that you're going to run the place. Yeah, you did in college with your NIL money and everything like that. And I really think the NFL just used him as an example. Because otherwise than that, I mean, I didn't see anything that was like, he never got in trouble outside of the law. He never, we never heard of him get in trouble at school or anything like that. He's a really good kid overall. And it's just like, you see someone that's like that talented just drop. It's like something that's happening behind the scenes. And I think that was happening behind the scenes was they used him as an example going into it. And so it's just one of those type of things where it's like, it sucks to see him drop. But the NFL got to do what the NFL got to do to make sure that the college football stuff does not leak into their own thing, because they are their own identification. They identify as their own thing. They are the NFL. They have that shield for a reason. And they don't want anything to do with that NIL stuff, the NIL money, college football size stuff. No, just leave that there. Once you go to this next level, all that stuff got to go. You got to come in here fresh, So that's what I think the Cleveland Browns are going to do. Like I said, Deshaun Watson's going injury reserved. Joe Flacco is going to be their starter. Dillon Gabriel is going to be reserved / emergency backup. And Kenny Pickett's going to be the odd man out. And then if Deshaun Watson does come back, like I said, it's going to be, if Deshaun's ready to play, it's going to be Deshaun Watson probably as a starter, Joe Flacco as a backup, Shedeur as an emergency backup, Dillon Gabriel practice squad, Kenny Pickett out. So yeah, that's all I have for today for this podcast. You guys have a great day, and stay with us. Peace.